What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this lackluster review of a lackluster episode, Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 22. First dates and swapping mates, honey. So let's get started. Okay, Nicole and Chris are really excited about, well, Nicole, I don't know about Chris. Nicole is really excited about going to her first wedding with Chris. They've been invited to one of her friends' wedding, I think in New York. So she's really excited for him to get to see, I guess, where she grew up in New York and to meet some of her childhood friends and family members, etc. So she's really excited about that. Moving on to Dominique. Okay, so now we have this contrived fake made up scene where Dominique and Clint meet up so that Dominique can help Clint or give Clint advice on buying a dog or something. No, they're just meta. It was a very forced scene because the idea of Clint and Dominique wanting to meet up for anything at all is just so preposterous to me. So it's under the guise of Clint wanting to buy a dog or whatever, get a dog, and he needs Dominique's help. So Clint tells Dominique that Gina and Mac are going on their first date. Dominique really didn't give a damn. Dominique says, in fact, this is how much she really didn't care. She tells Clint that she actually wants to reach out to a previous cast member of Married at First Sight who was on 2 seasons before. I think it was Married at First Sight Houston. So she wants to reach out to Gil. He was a firefighter who was married to Marla, and they have both said yes on decision day. And after decision day, when they came back for the reunion, we found out that they were no longer together. Marla didn't want to be with him anymore. And it left this man absolutely heartbroken because he was crying, the real ugly cry on television. He was bawling his eyes out because his marriage with Marla didn't work. He had given this woman his all. And she was just someone who I felt like, she was very materialistic. I think that she felt like she couldn't be with someone who was just a firefighter. Like she was really into making a lot of money and materialistic things, and Gil just wasn't that. He just wanted to have a meaningful, loving, caring marriage with his wife. And I think Marla was more focused on bags and shoes and fat bank accounts, even though she herself made a lot of money, so she said. I think she wanted to be matched with someone who was driven by money and driven by success. So yeah, that marriage didn't last, and Gil was left brokenhearted. So Dominique, of all people, wants to reach out to Gil. And I'm like, Gil, I hope you see this train wreck coming a mile away and politely decline any of her requests. But we shall see. So she's on her phone and she's trying to think about how to reach out to him and blah, blah, blah. What do I say? La, da, da. And finally she thinks of something, and then Clint helps her send the message. This whole scene was so stupid to me. Like, girl, the way as bossy as she was with McKinley, how she was bossing him around like she was his mother or something. I find it hard to believe that Dominique does not know or has a hard time reaching out to a man that she wants, and she needs Clint's help. This whole scene was stupid. So moving on from there, we have Jasmine. She's looking for a new place and a new man. Now I understand that she doesn't want to live the rest of her life alone. Okay. And her biological clock is ticking and she wants babies. I get it. But the fact that she is trying so hard to convince us that she has moved on from Eris and she's ready to dive into something new and she's back on the streets and back on the market, I thought she was just laying it on a little bit too thick. It was laying it on a little bit too thick, trying a little bit too hard to convince us that she's put Eris behind her, which makes me think that if Eris decided to call her and tell her he wanted to meet up somewhere, she'd break her legs running. So she tells Kirsten that she's reconnected with someone that she had gone to college with. So I guess she went through her list of college classmates or whatever and just picked the first one that she saw that wasn't married or engaged or had a girlfriend or something. Because I'm just like, why can't you just chill out for a little bit? Why do you have to be back on the market so damn fast? Because after being on this show and going through what she went through, living with a man for 2 months who was not attracted to you, didn't want nothing to do with you in that way, okay, and just going through the stress of being on a television show and all that comes with that. I would not even want to I couldn't even be thinking about a man. I'd be just trying to get myself together and just trying to like chill out and just, I would go on a vacation or something. I wouldn't be stressing myself out over no damn man, but here we are. So she tells Kirsten that she's going to be going on a date again with somebody from college and so on and so forth. So anyways, Kirsten says that she's not ready to put herself back out there because she's probably still holding the door open for Shaq. Now, she didn't say that. That's just my assumption, that she's waiting to see exactly, is it done with Shaq. Moving on from there, we have Eris and McKinley. So McKinley tells Eris he's going to be going back to Michigan for a job. McKinley thinks that Gina, being a businesswoman, is attractive and super sexy. And he's hoping that Gina is down for a long distance relationship. Whatever. Moving on to Shaq. So Shaq is back in Louisiana for very sad reasons because his grandmother passed away. Somebody put in my comments a long time ago that Shaq's grandmother passed away. And so he's back home for the funeral. And it was really sad because we had seen her on the show because she was at his wedding. And, you know, for all that I can tell, she seemed like a really sweet, very supportive woman. And it's just really sad that she's no longer there. And so Kirsten did reach out to him to give her condolences, which I thought was really sweet. Speaking of Kirsten, she goes to a career coach, right? She goes to a career coach, and this is another contrived scene. She goes to a career coach, and she is talking about what she wants to do with her career. She wants to like expand her real estate business. She wants to flip homes, etc. And then the conversation turns to her relationship because she was telling her career coach something about, well, you know, I've been going through a divorce. I just got divorced. Girl, stop with the dramatics. When a normal person says, I'm going through a divorce, it really means something. Okay. You are trying to detangle a life that you have built together with someone else, trying to detangle finances and property and assets and figure out what to do with the children. In this situation, girl, you were on a matchmaking show. They matched you up with somebody for 2 months. It didn't work out. And now y'all are going your separate ways. And the show is going to be handling your divorce for you. So stop with the dramatics of, I'm going through a divorce. No, you're not. You're breaking up with the guy that they matched you with. Moving on from there, we're back to Jasmine. So Jasmine goes on her first date with friend boy, someone that she had gone to college with. And we're not going to see him or know his name because it's not official. So we just see the back of his head. We just see blurred visions of his face. We see him through the leaves of strategically placed potted plants. We look at his hands. We look at his Vans for some reason. The camera must have panned to his Vans about 10 times during this date. So as they're sitting at this date, and I know Jasmine was trying to be funny, but I was not in a funny mood. So her jokes were not landing for me. But during the date, she asks him, do you find me attractive? And the guy was like, that's a stupid question. Of course I find you attractive. You're a gorgeous woman. And then Jasmine says, well, I need to ask because, you know, after what I've been through, I realized that I'm going to have to ask from now on. No, you don't. You don't have to ask a damn thing, Jasmine, because out here in the real world, you're going to know that somebody finds you attractive. Number one, most likely they're going to be approaching you. Okay, they're going to notice you. They're going to approach you. They're going to ask you for your name and your phone number, etc. That's how you'll know the man's attracted to you. Stop playing dumb. Stop acting like you didn't live a regular life before you got on the show. Moving on to Nicole and Chris. So they're at Co. And it's a furniture shop. And it seems like their biggest issue is going to be trying to control Nicole's spending. And she's so flippant about it. You know, she's like, yeah, I buy what I want. And if I see it, if I like it, I'm going to buy it. And if I have the money, I'm going to buy it. Even if I don't need it, I'm going to buy it because I want it. And she wants like a huge magnifying glass to put on the coffee table. She wants this gold chair. And Chris was saying that she wants a lot of unnecessary things. Chris, You need to get a hold of this situation quickly. Otherwise, your house is going to look like a warehouse of just miscellaneous, mismatched junk. So you need to get a hold of this very quickly. And even Nicole says, if I tell you that I'm going to go shopping, I'm going to need you to come with me to kind of control me because I'm going to go out. She says she's the kind of person that has to buy the same thing in like, various different colors. Yeah, Chris, you need to get a hold of this quickly. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to need to figure it out. And Nicole is such an alpha type female. I don't know how he's going to be able to control that. Moving on to Clint. So he goes on this blind date. And they're having fun. They're throwing frisbees. And then they get a chance to have a conversation. And they're talking about what they've been through. He's been divorced. She's been divorced. And then they talk about what they're looking for in future partners. And then Clint asks her, well, what do you think what's a deal breaker for you? That's what he asked her. What's a deal breaker for you? And she said redheads. And she herself is a redhead. And so I was like, she's got some damn nerve. And why is my boy Clint why do these women keep giving him the blues about his damn red hair? He cannot control that. But anyway, so she says, yeah, she doesn't date redheads because she says when two redheads are seen together, people automatically assume that they're related. Like, what kind of a complex is that? If you know you're not related, who cares what people think? I don't want to go too much into that because it's so stupid. But if you're not interested in him, just say I'm not interested in you. Moving on to Gina and Mac. So it's their first date. Yawn. And they do latte art. Out of all the things on God's green earth for the two of y'all to do, because y'all have left y'all's spouses to be with each other. That right there should be very spicy, because on Married at First Sight UK and Married at First Sight Australia, they do this a lot. This wife swapping, husband swapping, cheating on their spouses, sneaking around behind their spouses' backs. They do this a lot. And trust me, they make it interesting. They make it real spicy. I'm watching Married at First Sight UK right now. There's a young lady, wasn't really feeling her husband. There was a guy, wasn't feeling his wife. So they decided to hook up, and it was explosive. And it was great. It was great TV, wonderful TV. Why? How in the world does Married at First Sight America make spouses, people who leave their spouses to be with each other? How do they make it so boring? How could it be so absolutely opposite of exciting and interesting and dramatic? Like, first of all, Dominique and Clint don't really care. They don't give a damn. So there's no feelings hurt there. Also, not only do they not care, not give a damn, like they weren't even like attracted to their spouses. So it really didn't mean anything to them. But still, on Married at First Sight UK, the people that ended up cheating were not attracted to their spouses either. But it was still sort of exciting to watch. How they will give each other the googly eyes, how they would try to sneak off and meet. It still was very interesting to watch, but somehow or another, Married at First Sight US just fumbled the ball on this, and it was like the most boring thing ever. So they meet up for latte art, which is making, shapes in your latte. Okay, can you believe that? Can you believe that? So we're watching them make coffee. So they make their damn coffee, then they go sit down and talk and have a very boring conversation about the future of their relationship. They talk about how neither of them were attracted to their spouses. Okay, fine. Gina talks about how Mac is a great dresser compared to Clint. So, she's got Clint on her mind. They talk about how they noticed each other on their honeymoon. Not the honeymoon, they noticed each other at the airport. Y'all, I'm boring myself talking about this. They noticed each other at the airport. Okay, fine. So Gina, okay, whatever. So Max says that, I got a job in Michigan. I'm going to be moving to Michigan. Even him dropping that on her was not interesting. She was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. We can still manage to talk. She goes, I'm not a needy woman. So it's not like I need to have my man around me 24/7. Girl, not only are you not a needy woman, you're not an interested woman at all. The reason why you don't care about him moving to Michigan is because you're like, fine. That's better for me. I don't have to worry about investing my time and energy and attention into a relationship because I'm more worried about my salons. I wonder if Mac is picking up on that. She was like, oh, you're moving to Michigan? Oh, that's fine. We can work around that. Moving on. So all the girls get together, minus Gina, because she's somewhere in Canada opening up a salon or something, or teaching a class. And then we have all the guys together. So when all the women get together, Dominique seemed really out of place to me with the other females. I don't know if it's because of her age or her personality. I'm not really sure, but she seemed really out of place. But anyway, they go flower picking, and Dominique tells them that she reached out to Gil and that she was going to be having a FaceTime date with him. And they were all like, what? And I was thinking about it, and I thought, if only it would have been Kirsten reaching out to Gil. I think that would have been a better match. But she's probably as materialistic as Merlot was. I don't know. But I think Gil is the kind of guy that Kirsten has been looking for. Like a really manly man type of guy. But anywho, girl, Dominique got to him first. So then Nicole says in her confessional, she thought it was really strange how Dominique went out of her way to reach out to a man that lives in Texas when she divorced her husband because she wasn't convinced he was going to stay in Tennessee. So it's like, what's going on? I wish Nicole would have asked Dominique that to her face, because I would have loved to have seen her response. So how do you explain breaking up with Mac because you weren't convinced he was going to plant roots in Tennessee, but you're okay with trying to hook up with somebody who lives in Texas? Then they talk about the dogs, and Jasmine says that at that particular moment, Eris had her dog Duchess, but she wasn't going to let him have Duchess ever again. And now we get to the guys. Eris tells the guys that he hopes that Jasmine will allow him to continue to see Duchess. So, of course, Eris brings up the issue of who in this group has already been intimate with a woman. And of course, Clint says he has. And these people move fast. They move really, really fast. I don't know if Clint just had, a woman on standby, like friends with benefits, his list of friends with benefits, and he just went through his Rolodex and picked one. Or if he had to get with someone, a lady of the night, like they move really fast. But he had somebody waiting on him, so he got that taken care of. And Eris said him as well. He's already taking care of business, so he has somebody on standby as well. And this is very reminiscent of before they all got married and all the guys were together. I think it wasn't the bachelor party. It was they had all gone out for pizza and they were eating that burnt pizza. And Eris talked about, well, who in this group has recently been with a woman? And it was once again Clint and Eris right before they got married. So then Mac tells the guys that he went out on a date with Gina, and he said that, it's just really casual right now and it's nothing serious. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be anything serious because Gina's married to her business. She ain't interested in really investing in a relationship. All she cares about is her damn business. Kirsten tells the girls that once again she brings up the story about Shaq crying. I don't understand why she's so hung up on that. Like, it's so hard for her to believe that this man could cry and still not want to be with her. It's as if she wants someone to tell her, oh, he was crying because he really didn't want to divorce you, Kirsten. He really wanted to be with you. I think Kirsten is really shook that a man rejected her, and a man who she probably didn't deem very attractive or very desirable to other women. I think she's really shook by that he told her he wanted to get a divorce before she said she wanted to stay married, and he told her, I want to get a divorce. So basically he dumped her on TV. And I think she's not over that. I think that's really bothersome for her. And so that's why she keeps on bringing up this whole story about he was the one divorcing me, but he was the one crying. Shaq cried, y'all. He was crying. Even though he wanted a divorce, he was crying because she really wants someone to reassure her. Even though he said he wanted a divorce, he still wants to be with you. He still wanted to be with you. And did nobody tell her that? And I think that her whole thing about wanting closure, like she wants to talk to him again because she really needs that closure. I think she wants to lure him back into her trap so that maybe they can be back together again, and then she can end up dumping him. Or she wants him to tell her, I really do want you. I want to be married to you, Kirsten. I didn't mean it when I said that I wanted to divorce, that I wanted a divorce, because she wants to save face. She wants America to understand, America, he really wasn't dumping me because he didn't want me, or because he wasn't attracted to me, or he thought I was ugly, or there's something wrong with me. He really don't want to dump me at all. He still wants to be with me. I think that's why she wants to meet up with them, to kind of like make it crystal clear to everybody that this man still wants her, that his wanting a divorce was not really him not wanting her. Because if somebody looks at me in my face on television after I said that I wanted to stay married to them, and they look at me and they say they want a divorce, that's all the closure I need. We don't have to talk anymore after that. Thank you guys so much for dropping in. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.